to be halfway alive since I had.
Good morning! Welcome to the dissertation defense vlog! If all goes according to plan, by the time you guys are seeing this in real time, I will officially be Sarah Fischer, Ph.D. I will be a doctor, and I can't wait. So today is Monday. My defense is tomorrow, meaning I'm using today to do all of the last bits of prep. I'm gonna finish putting my presentation together. I'm gonna like really prioritize rest, chilling out, calming my anxiety, and it's too hot. I gotta turn on the air. I'm sorry for the sound quality, but it's like literally feels like 100 degrees outside. And just like thinking through my work, thinking through some practice questions, running it by Megan per usual. And yeah, I'm excited to have it done with. I can't lie, I'm excited for 4 p.m. tomorrow when it's all over. So I'm gonna try out a new coffee shop right now. I'm gonna try out Coffee Beanery downtown. I've never been, and I figured the summer is a good time to try. Well, one, I won't be here in the fall, and two, when students aren't here. So I haven't had any coffee today, and it's already 10 a.m. So let's go.
I don't mind to spend a little time away, but want your hands and not pixels on the web.
Okay, I finished my slides. Tried to go to that new coffee shop like I mentioned. I parked, I paid to park, and then I try and walk up and like the door is just locked. And there's a sign that says like hours may differ in the summer, and I was like, okay. So I just went to Tried and True Inkwell. I got myself a little caramel latte. I actually started to feel like really anxious when I sat down, so I just like did a brain dump, did some journaling, and then I was able to lock in and finish the slides like I said. It's not the best PowerPoint I've ever made. It only needs to be like a 15 to 20 minute presentation, and I feel like I cover what needs to be covered there. So the rest of the day, I have a couple things. One, I want to schedule a nail appointment because I have these press-ons, but I'm getting like overstimulated by them, and the plan was always to get a little gel manicure. Two, I scheduled an Orange Theory class because I just feel a lot of like angst in my body. And I love the way Orange Theory makes me feel after, and I just think that it's going to be really good to have that feeling. And I feel like there was something else I was supposed to do today. Oh, I'm just gonna go through and like go through like those practice questions sort of that I came up with for myself. As I was reading back through my dissertation, I noted some parts where I could see people having questions. And then my advisor gave me something to think about. There's like an article I want to reread maybe, or like reread my notes on it. It's Abby Knobloch's embodiment, embodied knowledge, and embodied rhetorics, and I can see people asking how my ideas differ from hers. So I want to have like a solid answer to that, and you know, stuff like that. I'm feeling nervous though, I can't lie. So I'm gonna call and make that nail appointment. Hi, can I make an appointment for 2 manicures at 2:30? Thank you so much. Okay, gonna soak these off in soapy water and watch some Real Housewives of Miami. Oh, I can't get these last 2 off. I feel like I should have just let the salon do it. This glue is like super strong. I'm starting to think I should have just done the defense with the fake nails. Why are nails like such a thing? Why do these make life hard? We got our nails done! We got 1 shade apart of pink, which is so on brand. Mine is a little lighter.
Say vote who's better. Just kidding.
I feel like she messed. Oh, it's not gonna focus. Okay, well, it's not focusing for whatever reason, but the edge, I feel like she didn't fully get the edge, but cute. Okay, let's go do this workout, get out some of the stress, and then come back and finish the last of the defense prep. That was so hard. I got 15 splat points, and I feel so sweaty and must take a shower immediately. Okay, showered. Didn't wash my hair because I'm gonna wash it tomorrow morning so I can style it. So, a little gross, but in like a full-on loose grout fit. I'm gonna finish writing these thank you cards for my committee. I've written 2 of the 4, and then I have 2 last things to check off before I feel ready for the defense tomorrow. I can't believe this is happening. It's so surreal. I don't know if I've said it in this vlog yet, but Megan's defense is the day after mine, so mine's tomorrow and hers is Wednesday. So she's been like prepping and stuff as well. So we're both gonna run over a presentation tonight, I think. In this current moment, it's probably like the endorphins from Orange Theory and stuff, but I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling like, let's freaking go. Let's get it over with, you know? Let's get the show on the road. Let's keep it moving. Megan got me some pizza. I said, yeah, let's get the largest size. Hand for reference. Oh my gosh, these cheese sticks are cute. Oh, we're gonna have leftovers. Yeah. What is that from, you guys? Our friend Jamie does that all the time. Is that from Fortnite? Okay, it's 10:31. Went through all my slides with Megan, just like talked about the project, got myself feeling comfortable, a little too amped up because then it was hard to like come down. I had a hard time falling asleep last night, so I hope tonight is better, but I don't know. I'm nervous, but I feel ready. My finger actually really hurts because I couldn't get one of those fake nails off, and she just like treated it like gel and like drilled it down, but she like drilled it down too low. I should have told her it hurt. Anyway, it's been the nail saga. It's always the nail saga, I feel like, whenever I try something new. But I'm ready to get it over with. I'll see you guys in the morning. It's the day. It is dissertation defense day, as Megan keeps calling it. It's doctor day. I clearly got out of the shower, have my hair up in a towel. It's about 9:45. I woke up at like 7:30. I've been up for a couple hours. I went out and grabbed a coffee and a bagel. I've sort of just been like trying to relax and just like stay calm. I'm definitely feeling nervous. Not like in a bad way though. I'm not like scared. It's like nervous, excited, nervous, like let's get it over with. Sort of like adrenaline, I guess. I have my outfit here. I am gonna go downstairs and steam it. And then I think I'm gonna run through my slides, my presentation one more time and just look over things. And then start getting ready, do my hair, do my makeup. I really want time to like slowly get ready and take as much time as I need, because that always makes me feel most confident. And that's just like part of like a ritual, I feel like on campus visits and for interviews, I always left myself so much time to get ready, just because that was part of like the process of like calming my nerves, hyping myself up, even if it meant like waking up at absurd times. Megan's friends got her flowers for her defense tomorrow. That's so sweet. They're actually so pretty. I love this color. Our kitchen is a mess, so just like ignore that. But we got some stuff from Greece that we're giving each of our committee members, so it's like a little thing of olive oil. I don't want to mess with this too much. Then it's like a little one of these postcards with a different like popular Greek person, so some of Aristotle, Socrates, Athena, people like that. And I think there's one other thing. Oh, it's more of these like Greek salad mixes. Okay, this lighting is crazy. Let me fix this. I can't wait to have like real money and to buy better like filming equipment. You guys have stuck with me on this G7X that's like breaking for 5 years, so thank you. Upgrades to come, I promise. Anyway, finished my hair. I obviously have not done my makeup yet, but I have gotten some of the nicest messages and I just want to share some of them. So of course, like my friends and family have texted me, but yesterday I was feeling really anxious about just like the defense in general, especially in the morning. Like, of course I was. And just sort of like frustrated because I was like, I feel like this should be like a celebratory time. Why am I feeling anxious? So I posted in the PhDone chat from Accepted Society on the Circle app, and I just said, I'm defending my dissertation tomorrow. I know a lot of other programs say it's like a rubber stamp or a victory lap, but like I'm just like really nervous and really just want some support. And so some other people from the group who I've been like in study sessions with responded. Lauren said, "You're so ready for this. No one knows your project better than you. You're gonna do amazing. It's gonna feel amazing when it's over." And Christy said that she's sending me a bunch of support. No one knows this project better than I do, that I've already made it. And then super meaningfully, the two PhD done coaches, Dr. Clea and Dr. Polly, both responded like really long things, and they made me like tear up, and they're so sweet. And it's just so meaningful to me to have this form of support, because PhD programs can often be like really isolating, and it's hard when you get to the end where you're like defending the dissertation and it should be like this huge celebration, but it's like, I don't know, especially at IU where they're closed defenses and other people in your cohort don't really go to them. An email's gonna go out if I pass, when I pass, but that's pretty much it. So having like this form of support where people are cheering me on is like really, really meaningful. And I wanted yesterday to have a call with Dr. Clea, my coach, but I just simply didn't have time. So being able to have like this messaging feature has been really helpful. And you've heard me talk about the PhD Done program a lot, especially in this final push. It has been so meaningful to me with its study sessions, with the one-on-one coaching sessions with my specific coach, with just like the form of support that I can have just messaging other people. It just gives you that extra push that you need to get through to the end. And then of course the beautiful Notion template that comes with it. So if you are wanting to join this program, I always have the link in my description box. You should check it out, and I will have the link to the Notion template specifically if you just want to check out the Notion template. So now that I'm like finishing everything up, I feel like truly a big part of me getting to this point over the last couple of months has been thanks to this PhD Done program. I'm so sorry, the sound in this clip is probably bad, but I need the air on full blast. Megan's driving me. I can't believe it's happening. I realized I did vlog my outfit, but I took a phone clip, so I'll insert that. Button down, silk skirt, little belt. We're having a bit of an air conditioning dilemma in the house. We're gonna hope that that gets resolved. I do feel like my powder is a little too light under my eyes, but it could just be because my face is red. So I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna lock in and we're gonna focus on the dissertation, not those other things. Woohoo! Megan is like dropping me off right at the building, but I'll pay her back tomorrow. I'll do the same thing for her tomorrow, so don't even worry about it. Did you finish your presentation? Mm-hmm. Okay, slay! I did it! I'm a doctor. I did it. I survived it, and the amount of relief that I feel is unmatched. It's the next day. It is now Wednesday. It's 1:53. Megan is currently doing her dissertation defense, and I'm just like vicariously so like anxious and excited and like nervous and like eager for her. And I wish that we had like open defenses. I wish that I could be a part of it and just like see her, I don't know, like talk about her research and be as brilliant as she is. But anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about the defense. I'm sure like parts of it I've blacked out and more will come to me in the future. It's still obviously like very fresh, and my overwhelming feeling was it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as much of like a grilling as I was scared that it was going to be. She just sneezed. Like at one point someone on my committee said, "This idea is like really interesting, I'm thinking with you." And that was like really relieving to hear. And I was like, okay, this is good. Someone had left a comment on my last YouTube video that I think was really, really accurate of what the defense is. Let me pull it back up and read it. Someone said, "I wouldn't say the defense is a rubber stamp exactly, but your committee shouldn't let you schedule your defense unless they're reasonably confident you're prepared to pass. I think it's typical in my department for your committee to ask questions until reaching what you can't answer, at which point you need to make reasonable speculation. It's not about being able to answer every question, but about being able to tolerate uncertainty and being able to have a reasoned discussion from what you do know. And they said, best of luck with your defense. I think that I read that comment before the defense and I was like, oh, this feels accurate. And I do think that that ended up being really accurate. So I was surprised because I thought more of the questions were going to be like getting into the nitty gritty of my project, the specific case studies of the YouTubers who I analyze, the specific student projects that I talk about and things like that. But they were all centered around like big picture ideas. So in my dissertation, I focus a lot on this phenomenon that I call embodied hyper-awareness, which is like the really strange sensation that happens when you're like seeing yourself while vlogging, knowing that like an audience is going to see you too, and it makes you like sort of see yourself as subject and object. And I say that this can like potentially transfer to audience awareness in really like important ways, in really meaningful ways that work towards like equity, inclusivity, accessibility, and things like that. And so the majority of their questions were really just like fleshing out this idea of embodied hyper-awareness, wanting to make sure that I understood its limitations, and a lot of questions that were like really future oriented. And so they weren't necessarily like, I was confused about this in your dissertation, can you explain it for me? It was like, you mentioned this idea, how do you think you could apply it in this other context? So it was like that reasonable speculation, like that comment said. And it really didn't feel like I was having to like perform anything in the ways that I sometimes felt like on job talks. I felt like I was just speaking honestly, and there were several points in which I was like, that's a really great point, and trust me, I thought about that. I just had to strategically narrow it down for the scope of a dissertation. I had to narrow it down to audience awareness instead of rhetorical awareness more broadly for the scope of a dissertation in order to make it manageable and in order to get it done. There was a lot of talk about authenticity, which was really, really interesting and really productive, and I do think that's the direction I want to go in the future, and I felt that way for a little while now. I feel like authenticity is sort of like an undercurrent in my dissertation, and it sort of like weaves its way in and out. And so of course I was prepared to talk about that. And a lot of their questions were, again, just like speculation about what I think about authenticity with AI, what I think about authenticity with social media in general. And I was able to talk about like my own experiences on YouTube, my own experiences teaching a class about social media influencers. And I brought up like parts of the dissertation, but it never felt like I was grilled like, on page 42, you say this, what do you mean by that? And there were times when I guess they were trying to clarify things. Like at one point, someone on my committee said, so my understanding is that embodied hyper-awareness is the ideal outcome of vlogging. And I said, no. Embodied hyper-awareness that's leveraged for productive rhetorical ends is the ideal outcome. And he was like, oh, okay. So anyway, they sent me out for deliberation, and I was out there for like 5 minutes. And my advisor told me that it could potentially be up to 20 minutes. And so I was like prepared to be out there for a while. I was texting Megan. I was just like telling her everything that they had asked me that like while it was fresh in my mind. And then I got brought back in and was like opening my notebook to talk about revisions, because my advisor told me that he's never sat in a defense in our department that didn't require revisions to the dissertation. And so he was like, okay, so like here are what we thought were like the strengths of your project, and here are where we see it going in future directions. But none of these things feel like they need to be rewritten in your project. They just feel like ways that we can expand your ideas in the future when you write a book or multiple books. And so for those reasons, we want to pass you a distinction. And I almost cried. I was like, and I literally said to them, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this was possible. I think I might cry. I knew that you could pass exams and pass your prospectus with distinction, which I did not do. But I didn't know that that was possible for the dissertation. But like, I'm glad I didn't know that was possible, because I went in there with like low stakes. And so I'm just like really proud of that. And I was just like feeling really just like frustrated and down bad, because I was like, people don't understand the value of my work. And I feel like I've been fighting and I've been fighting and I've been fighting for people to see the value of my work. And I don't know, so passing with distinction felt like validation. And yeah, I felt like they were all really proud of me, and it's a really good way to end it. It's a really good note to end it on. I wrote them all like nice thank you cards, and I gave them to them, and we had like some gifts that we got from Greece, like little olive oil things. I think I showed it earlier, so I gave them those, and they were like, oh, thank you. And someone said something really funny. He was like, I don't know what you're gonna think about me when you're in Greece. If I go to Greece, I'm not gonna think about you. I was like, that's good, you shouldn't. Yeah. So overall, it was like a really positive experience, and I'm just like hoping and praying that Megan is having that right now. I want that for her so bad. I think it's gonna be really hard that I overall had a positive experience if she doesn't. No matter what, she's gonna pass. She's gonna be a doctor, it's gonna be good. But I hope that she doesn't leave feeling like that was a grilling, that was really hard, like the things that I was scared of. But we share 3 of the same 4 committee members, so I'm just like, their vibes are all good. Their vibes are gonna be good for you. I also think Megan's project is fantastic. I think it's so smart and so important and so meaningful that she's gonna do great. Yesterday, I didn't really vlog at all because it was just like, go, go, go. As soon as defense was done, because Megan dropped me off, like I showed you. Zach picked me up, and then we went straight to social cantina. We were eating and we were talking, and it was just like, and then I was FaceTiming with my family when I got home. And then before you knew it, it was time for me to sit down with Megan and for her to run through her slides with me, for her to like talk through her project, just to like start feeling comfortable with things. And she was feeling sort of just like bleh. I think we were both tired. And I was like, okay, Megan, like I want you to tell me like what you're most proud of with this project and what you're like most excited about. And that was like really, I don't know, special. And I think that that was like a good thing to do, because I sort of did that for myself, that I was like, no matter what happens in this defense, here are a couple things that I'm really proud of in my project. And I was able to actually bring that up in the defense at one point, and that was like, I don't know, probably my favorite part. So the project started, really, I started thinking about embodiment and bodies when I was diagnosed with PTSD from like physical and sexual violence inflicted on my body. And I was like, experienced hypervigilance, where I was like hyper aware of everything around me. And I just like didn't know what to do with that. I was fearful. It was hard for me to leave my house. It was hard for me to like walk outside alone. And so at the same time I started vlogging, and I experienced like a similar version of this, where I was like hyper aware of my body now. I needed to find a way to like translate hyper awareness as something that was paralyzing into something that was productive. And I feel like I did that. And so in those ways, this project has been like really healing towards me, for me, but I've been like really scared in the project to talk too much about myself and my own journey with it, because I don't want it to like turn into like navel gazing or just like something that people are like, what's the point of this? How is this scholarship? This is just like autobiography. So we talked about that too. We talked about like, how do we consider that type of work rigorous? We talked about embodiment, we talked about feminism, and I think that that just like struck a chord with my committee, and I think that that landed, and I think they were like, yeah, this all makes sense. Because so much of my idea of embodied hyper-awareness is so like delicate and fraught, and it really like toes the line of like something that's really cool and really rhetorically powerful, where you're thinking critically about your body and how it's culturally situated and how like sensations are impacting you in order to communicate more effectively. But it's also like has potential for like, I don't want to say harm, but maybe, but also like extreme discomfort when you're asking people to think really critically about their bodies. That's really uncomfortable, especially for certain types of bodies over others, for marginalized bodies. And so I've reflected on this a lot in my dissertation, and I have like a whole section of like all these guardrails I would have put up if I teach the class again and all this stuff. And it's just like a fraught concept, and there's tension, and there's a lot of gray area in it. And for so long, it's been really hard for me to just like admit that. And I've been wanting to find ways to just say like, no, 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 like it has potential for that, but here's all the ways we can guarantee that doesn't happen, and here's all the ways we can ensure that it's good. And I just don't think that that's possible. And I think it took me writing the whole dissertation and talking through it to get to the point where I'm like, it's okay that it's a gray concept. Like, let's talk about the gray, let's work in the gray. And that's was one of the pieces of advice from someone on my committee who said, I encourage you, when you like start writing the book, which is crazy, to start from the place where you're stuck, to start from this gray area. And I was like, I'm gonna need a minute. But yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah, so they told me that they told me what made me pass with distinction is that I knew the bounds of my project, and when they gave me questions that were sort of like asking me to speculate, or that were like taking concepts from the DISS and applying them in other ways, I never panicked. And I was like, yeah, because I've been asked some wild things and job talks on the job market, so nothing you asked me was too bad. One of the first questions I got was like, you make a case for multimodal work and multimodal projects, like why isn't your dissertation multimodal? And I said, well, that's a great question. Let's talk about that. And ultimately what I said was, I do think that my dissertation is multimodal because my dissertation is the 300-page document in front of you, but it's also my YouTube channel. I would not have been able to do this project without YouTube, without you guys helping me think through ideas, without me having this like lived embodied experience of like feeling embodied hyper-awareness and knowing what it's like and being able to write about it in those ways. So it is multimodal. And I also was like, I think we need to think like logistically and practically about multimodal projects in two ways. One, they're extremely like difficult to house. And then also projects that are published only online are just not viewed as rigorous as when you can like physically hold it in your hands and it's a book. And that's just like true of the field. And that's something that I brought up too. And I was like, I'm already facing all this pushback about my project not being rigorous because it's about bodies, because it's about women, because it's about vlogs. So why would I do extra work to potentially add on this extra battle of having a multimodal project as like another strike against me of it not being rigorous? And these are just like all things I've thought about so often, and I was just grateful to be able to like have a conversation with my committee about all of it. And I'm sure I'm gonna have a moment where like it all hits me and I just like start sobbing. When I FaceTimed my family yesterday, my dad was like, Sarah, have you cried yet? And I was like, I don't know. Zach gave me a really sweet card and it made me tear up, but I don't know if I've like cried. And he's like, your mom's been crying. And I know my mom is really proud of me. And like that could make me cry. And like in some ways I feel like I did this project for her. I feel like I did this project for women. So yeah. I don't know, it's a surreal feeling to know that it's done and I don't have edits. It's a surreal feeling. I don't know. I feel like really proud of myself, but I also am just like kind of in a state of shock and disbelief. I'm glad that like, especially after such a difficult prospectus defense that left me like having panic attacks, that this dissertation defense felt like really reparative, as my therapist would say, and really just like was able to like reclaim the experience. I'm proud of myself, and not to be like too cheesy, but I'm just like really grateful for the space of this YouTube channel, for all of you guys, because this project just like truly wouldn't have been possible without it, like I said. And I honestly think I would have given up on YouTube a long time ago if I didn't have like an audience who was like watching and interacting with me. And you guys sent me some of the nicest messages yesterday when I posted on Instagram that I passed. Like a lot of you all were like, your PhD like journey has been like really inspirational for me, has like kept me going, has inspired me to go to grad school, has inspired me to like continue on. And that is like what will make me the most emotional, because that is like really, really, really crazy. But I truly am just like, you guys, if I could do it, you can do it, I promise. I did not get really high test scores. I did not go to private schools. I didn't even go to like what I would think were like the best schools, like K through 12. I think truly if I can do it, you can do it. I think you have to want it. Bad. Really bad. I also think my advisor played a huge role, and I wrote him a very long card, and I hope that it's meaningful for him, because I thought really long and hard about what I wanted to put in it. But yeah, it's wild to think that like these videos where I'm just like thinking out loud and sharing my journey with you all feel inspirational to you. But thank you for letting me know that. And that's just like really crazy. I can't wait to party tonight with Megan. He's a doctor! No crumbs, no notes, no freaking revisions. Let's go.
The most exciting part, almost more exciting than being a doctor, is no revisions.
Honestly, you know I get it. You know I get it.
Thanks, Mom.
It says, it's doctor actually. Presenting Dr. Megan McCool.
Thank you.
Yay! PhD vibe. Cute. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is not the morning. It is 1:27 p.m. I am doing laundry and I'm still in pajamas because that's what you can do when you are the freest bird and everything is done. It feels still so surreal, but still so good. Making some goodles for myself for lunch today. And then I think I'm gonna run some errands because we are going on like a little celebratory, very minor, very chill little weekend trip. And I wanna get like some road trip snacks. I need to get more food for Pirelli. Just like little things like that. And then the rhetoric department is putting on like a little like, yay, congrats, and like send-off party because there's 4 of us who defended our dissertations. Like me and Megan are 2 of them, and there's 2 other people this semester and this year, and we're all like graduating and leaving. I think we're all leaving Bloomington. I don't know, honestly. I know 3 of us are, but that's gonna be at a local brewery and that's at 5:30. So that's why all these snacks are here, because we're gonna bring them to the Airbnb, and some cooler bags that I think we're gonna bring with us if we have to bring back like refrigerated stuff that we get there. I also don't know if I really showed this, but Joanna went to Japan and she made like this little candy lei for me with Kit Kats, and they are matcha Kit Kats and strawberry Kit Kats, and I can't wait to open them up and try them out after these goodles. She also brought me some really fun stuff. She brought me this little bag charm. It's so cute, I'm obsessed. These peach candies look delish. And then some face masks, which I'm pumped about. And then Jamie got me a little disposable camera, which will be really fun for this weekend. Joanna also got me this little calico cat sticker, which looks like purr. Quite a bit later now. It's like 5 p.m. I'm about to leave to go to Heartworks with Megan for our little rhetoric celebration. I came back from going to Target with Jamie to run some errands. And our friends in Wyoming who are in our program in their ABD and they're finishing it out in Wyoming sent us the cutest little package. She sent me and Megan each like a little nail polish, some hair ties, a vitamin C mask, and just like the sweetest stuff. And so we FaceTimed them and we were chatting with them, and again, I just feel so like loved and celebrated. It's so sweet. She also wrote a card that I think I'm gonna read right now, and I'm like scared because I think it's gonna make me like really emotional. Also, I treated myself to these straws, like a fun little bottom from Target, because I don't know, I wanted them and I was like, sure, I'll treat myself to a little like $10 gift for finishing the diss, passing the defense.